My name is Dylan, and this is Josh with me. We are. This is the first time we're doing this. This is our brand new podcast. It's called Between Two Buns. So, if you want to know why it's called Between Two Buns, is because both of us have long hair, and
Yeah, that one's pretty good.
and then what else do we got going on with it?
Honestly, this is just a continuation of our morning conversations. We work together. This is how our day starts every day, so we might as well record it and share it with the world.
And we wear our hair up in buns.
That too.
In all honesty, like there's not going to be a set subject we're going to talk about. I have ADHD. I know Josh has a little bit of it too. So it's going to go all over the place. We can start with, typically how it goes is we start with one conversation and it could be about a movie, and then it kind of just changes into something totally different.
Yeah, I wish I had a couple of examples from our conversations in the morning, but it just kind of goes everywhere.
All right, well, bro, there was been something I've been wanting to talk to you about for real.
All right, let's hear it.
All right, so I want you to think about this. If you had a time machine,
Okay.
and you have one trip, you can only go one place. Where would you go? What time period? Where would you go?
Can I take anything with me?
You could take two things.
Two things.
Two things.
I'm just going to assume in this world that my cell phone still works.
Okay.
I mean, if I brought it with me, it's got to work somehow, right?
Yeah.
I'm not sure on the second item, and honestly, I don't know if I'm too sure on the exact place, but I don't know. Just going somewhere far back in time, like let's say 1700s, just walking into this world, everything's absolutely bare minimum, and you walk in with the whole knowledge of the universe, or your current time, I should say. I feel like you could become the king in 3 days, right?
Yeah.
If you're not killed first.
Yeah. I mean, dude, they got that new video game now where you can do that.
What's it called?
I don't know. I just know that.
Oh, you were showing me about this. Yes,
It's where the
yes.
dude it's showing like a dude in a truck, and he's just plowing through people with these swords.
Yeah, it's like bow and arrows versus machine guns.
Yeah.
I remember you talking about it, and I don't remember what it was called, though. We'll have to figure that out.
Bro, if I had a time machine, okay, when I was a kid, it would 100%. All right, hold on. Before I get there, right now, I would have gone back to ancient Egypt and gone to the Library of Alexandria and taken all those freaking scrolls and brought them boys here and get them boys translated.
It would have been a great time to have that phone. Take a lot of pictures.
Get a first-hand glimpse at the pyramids, like when they still had like the white limestone kind of still on top of it. But when I was a kid, bro, I mean this sincerely, I knew the Titanic was based on a true story. Because, I mean, that's what the movie said. You know, we had the VHSs. It was the tape 1, tape 2.
Yeah.
Bro, I kid you not, and I mean this sincerely. I wanted to go back in time to the Titanic. That's what I would have done. I would have gone back in time to the Titanic. And if they said, okay, look, you can go to the Titanic, but you cannot stop it from hitting the iceberg. You can't do that. I'm like, well, I mean, that's fine. I mean, that's fine. I just want to save Jack. I just need to make sure that man lives.
That was going to be my first question. Were you going to make sure Jack gets on the door?
Absolutely. So that's why. So this is what I would. I kid you not, bro. This is what I would have done. Boom, landed on. All right, I'm on the Titanic. They are, dancing around or prancing around or whatever in front right after they hit the iceberg. I'm finding one of the doors and I'm trying to unhinge that bad boy.
Okay.
And no cap, bro. As soon as I see them out in the ocean. And I see Jack getting Rose up on the door. Say, bruh, forget holding her hand and freezing to death. Here. And I'm going to toss him a door. I'm going to make sure he freaking gets on it and lives himself.
So instead of making them share the door, you're just going to give him his own door?
Exactly. See, because that's the whole debate. Everybody's like, oh, well, bruh should have got on the door too. He could have fit. No, like, I thought that too. Up until, like, when I watched it again, he did try to get on it. And then he kept slipping off, so eventually he's just kind of like, he's floating and he's just holding her hand.
I don't know. I could think of an easier solution. Knowing what we know about how Jack and Rose ended, why don't you just tell him that she's just gonna let him die in the cold water, and I think he'll fight a little bit harder to get on the door.
Yeah, that's true. But you know what, dude? The more you think of it, like that would have been a wasted trip in a time machine, regardless. Even if I was emotionally invested into their love, whatever. Because think about this: the year was 1912. Bro, they were heading to New York. This man was poor. 1914, World War I hits. He would have been drafted, and he would have died anyway.
This is true. Yeah, maybe it was an easier way to go. Freezing to death in ice cold water with your ship sinking in the background.
All the while, the love of your life is telling you, "I'll never let go, Jack." As she's ripping his frozen hand from her and lets go. She does exactly what she said 5 seconds before she does it.
Yeah, her ripping the hands away is kind of a stab in the heart. It's like, sorry, bro, you had your chance.
Yeah. God, dude. Okay, so, but since we're talking about movies now, what is your, okay, since Halloween was just yesterday, what would you say is your favorite Halloween movie?
Favorite Halloween movie? Are we going like strictly just Halloween or like horror movie? Like, is there a certain way?
Genre? I don't know. I guess it just depends on how you look. Because I mean, you can go like the psychological thrillers or whatever you classify as horror, or a Halloween movie.
That's tough to decide just one. I grew up watching all of the Friday 13th and Nightmares on Elm Streets, but like I was telling you earlier today, actually, this year I don't think I watched any horror movies during the month of October. It was kind of a weird month for us. Besides my wife watching all of the Halloween Towns, which I luckily missed out on that one.
Rachel actually got me watching the Halloween Towns, like I think it was last year or the year before. I liked the first two, but the third one wasn't that good because it didn't have the main chick in it. You know, she's the same chick that was in Bringing Down the House with Queen Latifah and Steve Martin. She was his daughter. That's just a random fact.
I'm not sure I've ever seen Bringing Down the House.
Dude, that's a movie you need to see, bro. It's so good.
I do need to see that one. As far as my favorite Halloween horror movie, I tend to lean more towards the psychological thriller, so I think I'm going to say Midsommar, however you want to pronounce it. It kind of messed me up the first time I saw it because it doesn't matter how many times you watch it. It's just kind of the shock factor of it between the baking of the pies, the throwing the elderly off the cliffs. It was just a wild run from start to finish.
When they started jumping off the cliff, those two, like the older dude and the older woman, when they jumped off the cliff, that was like the weirdest. That's when it was at that moment you realized that you could not stop watching. Especially when the dude fell. When she fell, you know, it was an instant like, oh God, she killed herself.
Yeah, it was pretty gruesome to start with, but then he goes afterwards, and you're like, oh, wait, we got to finish the job.
And then, he went feet first, too. And it's like, it's something they already had in motion. Because she went, like full kind of dive, and head planted into the rock. But he purposely went feet.
He jumped like he was jumping into a pool. It was not the smartest play.
Oh,
but,
God. And then they showed it. It was super graphic.
And honestly, I think that part was definitely shocking, but as the movie goes on, it just gets worse and worse from there.
Yeah.
I don't know. I like anything that goes kind of with tradition. Obviously, they don't do all of that technically, but it's all based off of the things that have happened in the past as far as not necessarily religion, but the festival of Midsummer in general. It still happens to this day. They're just not throwing people off cliffs.
Yeah.
But it's kind of cool to see how they've twisted and turned it into something like that. And it's just one of those movies that I'll watch every year. I just didn't this year.
So I'll say one that, and this is one that I do not like. Now, so obviously everyone knows about just the traditional Halloween movies with Michael Myers. My favorite one, Michael Myers isn't even in it. It's the third one. It's Halloween 3. It's called Halloween 3 Season of the Witch.
Okay.
Have you ever seen it?
I don't believe so.
Oh my God, dude. It is so it's a little dated because I mean it was still, if I'm not mistaken, like late 80s, it possibly even early 90s.
Yep.
But it doesn't have anything to do with Michael Myers at all. So it's all in regards to this. See, I don't want to spoil it, but I'll still.
I mean, you might as well. I usually don't watch anything past the sequel. So you might as well just
See,
throw it all out there.
See, and that's the thing. Like the Halloween movies in general, they suck. It's like he's like the stupidest villain,
What
and
do you
he's
mean
so
he can
popular.
teleport?
Bro, this man walks.
Exactly.
That's all he does. He cannot
That's
this man can't.
That's the only explanation. If he can walk everywhere but also be anywhere, he teleports.
Bro, he ain't Freddy Krueger. He ain't Jason. He didn't die.
Freddy Krueger's barely real.
Bro, Freddy Krueger, dude, those movies, dude, child's play. Okay, so, bro, all right, so look, yes, Halloween 3, Michael Myers is not in it. Okay, I'll take it back. So he's in it for like a split second. And by split second, I mean he shows up on one of the TVs.
Okay.
This movie was hated, bro. People hated it because they were expecting to see Michael Myers, and bro didn't show up. It had nothing to do with him. But the story itself was amazing. It's one of my favorite Halloween movies of all time.
Did it just follow like Jamie Lee Curtis the whole time?
No,
or?
bro, she ain't in it either. That's what I'm saying. It ain't got nothing to do with it, and that's why people hated it because they had already saw the first Halloween movie and the second one, so they already had in their mind, oh God, Halloween 3's coming out. I wonder what Michael Myers is going to do. I wonder the knife. I wonder if he's going to have a different weapon this time, and it's not because when he finally did come back in the fourth one, and then the one after that, guess what? He's doing the same freaking thing that he did in the first. Call him a teleporter. I don't care, Josh. Bro, I don't care if this man was teleporting or not. This man, if you want to survive a Michael Myers movie, don't go inside of a house.
That's the secret. Don't go inside of a house.
Think about it, bro. If you can see him, you're safe. Because if you can see him, all he's doing is walking.
So it's kind of like Boo from Mario. As long as you're just facing them,
Exactly.
But as soon as you turn your back, there he goes, teleporting.
Right. So you know what you do, bro? Think about this: Michael Jackson, bro. He would have never been killed by Michael Myers. Two Michaels
just moonwalks away.
You think about it, if he's moonwalking, bro. You know what's crazy, dude? Michael Jackson moonwalking is still faster than how Michael Myers walks to go stab a chick in her throat.
Because he doesn't have to walk. He only walks until they turn around.
Good God, dude. Bro, okay, so but Halloween 3. Let's okay.
I want to hear what this is about since it doesn't have Jamie Lee Curtis or Michael Myers in it.
All right, so you know what? It's going to be kind of a synopsis, and I'm not going to spoil. I'm going to do my best to not spoil it because
give me the 30,000 foot view. Give me the rundown.
All right, so it is Halloween time again. There is this company where this dude, he's I guess a millionaire, billionaire, whatever, but he has a company that makes these masks, like Halloween mask. One of them's and it's just 3 masks. One of them is a pumpkin mask, one of them is like a witch mask, and one of them is like a skeleton mask. It's for kids to wear. Well, they have televised on TV these commercials, and with the commercials, it's just showing a pumpkin with a flashing, kind of like what sends people into seizures. It's kind of like that.
Was that also the cover art for the movie itself?
Yes.
That had the pumpkin on the front?
Yes.
I feel like I remember that, but that's about all I remember.
Dude, it is. See, I don't want to spoil it because, I mean, it's definitely something you need to see. And if
it's been out since what, late 90s?
Yeah, I mean, I'd say no. It's definitely early 90s.
All right,
but it does have the feel of like an 80s because it's got kind of that graininess. Like, bro, scariest movie of all time though, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the original.
That's the scariest movie just because of how badly it looks.
No. I'm saying like just the way
because the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre had all the grainy.
But the way they filmed that, and it's like that's something that, bro, that type of stuff does happen.
Yeah, I'd put Blair Witch Project up there as scary,
yeah.
But it's also that found footage genre is kind of weird.
Bro, M. Night Shyamalan.
I wouldn't count him as scary, but
do you like M. Night Shyamalan?
I do. He is good at putting a surprise twist. That's what he does, right?
Yeah.
And I'm all for that. As long as I love surprise twists at the end of the movie. As long as there's clues leading up that allows me to try and guess what's going to happen. Because if I go this whole movie and then they plot twist at the end and it's like a new character or something that they haven't talked about this whole time, and we have no chance of guessing, then I'm just uninterested.
Yeah.
Because in my head, the whole entire time, I'm trying to figure out what happened, and if I literally can't because they don't give me all the information, then I'm just upset.
Yeah, I definitely understand that. See, like M. Night Shyamalan, dude, he's got so many movies that are just so good. And regardless, so I watched the newest one. I don't know if you've seen it, Trap.
No, I haven't seen it yet.
Dude, it's good. It's good. It's like one of the only ones though that there's not really a twist to it. It's like the only M. Night Shyamalan movie I've ever seen where there's I don't think there's a twist to it. It's just this. It's just a very, very good movie.
What is Trapped about?
So there is this dude and he's taking his daughter to a concert.
Oh, that's right. We spoke about this because it took about this long in our first conversation for me to remember what the movie was the first time as well. But
because you saw the trailer for it.
Yes, because they're at the concert and
yeah.
they lock the doors down. Security and the cops have set up this great plan to trap the serial killer inside the concert.
Yeah.
But your main character and daughter, the father, is the serial killer.
Yes.
Yes, I wanted to see that, but I haven't seen it yet. It seemed interesting.
Like, so, if I'm not mistaken, when I was watching it, it's kind of a side story, but you know what? I'm gonna say it anyway. So, I got my food. I'm getting in the bed, and I'm about to turn it on. Mm-hmm. And when I do, my wife, she's like, Dylan, you got to do all that. And I looked at her because I'm just sitting there. I'm in my bed and I'm just eating while watching a movie. I'm like, what do you mean you got to do? What are you talking about? She's like, you got to get naked to eat. And I'm like, I was just in my underwear eating, and I'm like, is there something wrong with what I'm doing? Like, bro, I was comfortable. I'm in my own bed, bro. I got my food.
I mean, that's fair. I was thinking like full birthday suit when you said naked, so I was like, that's kind of odd to go grab the potato chips, but whatever works for you.
But see, then she's like, after I saw that, I mean, you got a problem with it. She's like, well, imagine if I were to just get into my bra and panties and just eat my food in the bed. I'm like,
it probably tastes better.
I told her, I said, you think I'd have a problem with that?
It doesn't quite work the same, does it?
No, at all. Oh, God. But, yeah, just a side note of right before we were about to watch Trap. Oh, dude.
I appreciate it. The whole setting the scene really helped me get into the mood for the movie.
Oh, bro, I was so comfy, dude. Because, like, all the underwear I had. So I used to get roasted about that, too, bro. Because, like, it was on Facebook. This was, bro, like 6 years ago. But it was like, if your man wears these type of underwear, and it was just like,
was it the plaid ones?
Yeah, plaid. Yep. And bro, every one I had was all plaid back then. I'm like, and I didn't realize that was a problem, bro. Shoot, bro, they were like $4 at Walmart. Wasn't ain't nothing wrong with that. At least then, and bro, I had some of the pairs. I had them for years. But
I mean, you wear whatever you want to wear. Just Champion is now, or it used to be sold at Walmart, and now it's high class brand, right?
Yeah.
So just wear what you want to wear, just not plaid boxers.
So, but now, dude, oh, bro, my underwear game is stepped up big time.
I got you,
bro. So I didn't even buy it all. She bought it all, and she got it off of Temu. So it was cheap, but dude, some of them are like sick. Like one of them's got it's got these trees and this wolf on it. Mm-hmm. And the wolf's right there, right there in the. One of them's got chili peppers on it. Mm-hmm. It's just black, but then it's got chili peppers all over it. And bro, they're all comfortable. I don't care what anybody says about Temu. Bro, Temu is legit. I mean, now granted, how they go about doing their business, it's not completely ethical.
I was going to say, we're starting off strong with our first episode and praising the child labor over there. Whatever works for you. I still don't know how this is setting us up for Trap, but we'll get there eventually.
Yeah, Trap was good. So the dude took his daughter to a concert.
Yeah.
And anyway, so when they get there, they get inside. It's kind of like Taylor Swift, where this chick is just a megastar, just an absolute megastar. Well, he's getting kind of paranoid because he's seeing police officers and FBI agents, and they're surrounding the building, and he can tell something's weird, especially when the fact that because they got floor seats, so where they're sitting at, he's seeing like these police officers coming up to certain dudes in the auditorium or in the stadium or whatever, and they're grabbing these dudes and they're escorting him out, and he's kind of acting weird about it. So eventually he walks away. He's buying a shirt for his daughter or something, and he's asking one of the workers. He's like, "Hey, what's going on? What's up with all these FBI agents and all these police officers? What's going on with that?" And the dude's like, he said, "I'm really not supposed to say, but this is all set up." He said, "You ever heard of that killer, the butcher, that serial killer who's been chopping people up?" And it shows the dude again. And he's like, "Yeah, I've heard of him." And he's like, "Yeah, they said the FBI found out he's going to be here at this concert today." And so the dude's like, "What?" He said, "Yeah, this is all a setup. This is all set up again."
Does the whole movie take place inside the concert venue?
That's what I was thinking for like the first 35, 40 minutes, but eventually, no, it doesn't.
Because you could have probably got away with that. Concert arenas are pretty big places, so I'd imagine there's a lot of places to hide and run if you're a serial killer.
See, but that's the thing. The way they set it up, because they show this one older lady who's an FBI agent, and she is prepared for it all. Like every person that has come in, they are going to be checked as they get out. There is not a single person.
But they don't know who they're looking for as far as looks-wise.
So they have like I don't know exactly how they went about it, but they have like a list of possible and then like suspects or whatever, I guess you could say, and they name off certain characteristics that the person has. They know it's a dude, and they know he's like
very basic white male though, from what brown swoopy hair, 6-something.
And you find this out in the trailer, so this isn't spoiling.
Yeah,
but he's the killer.
Yeah,
he's the killer.
I wish they would have came up with a cooler name than the Butcher.
The Butcher, yeah.
There's been a lot of the Butchers, Bay Area Butcher, this, that, and the other throughout time. But if he's chopping up people, then I guess that's what he is.
Oh, but dude, like his level of intelligence is insane. And they know that. That's something else that they said, that he's probably panicking right now because he realizes what's gonna. So he's gonna try to cause a scene.
It sounds like a great idea on paper until you're hurting thousands of people and trying to find one person out of the group. It seems like it's gonna be a tough thing to do, especially if you don't know exactly who you're looking for.
All I know is you gotta watch it, bro.
No, I'll definitely watch it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You absolutely have to watch it.
Where did we come from? I know where we're at now. Where did we come from?
All right, so let me back up a minute. I know we've been talking about M. Night Shyamalan stuff, so let me back up to where we were talking about Halloween. All right, so the Halloween 3 movie, like I was saying, so this dude, he owns a company. They make these masks, and then they've been pushing out these ads on the television or whatever, and it's basically hyping up wearing these masks on Halloween. So it's become a super popular thing where all these kids got these masks on. These 3 different types of masks. It's not even like there's nothing that's even like super fancy about them. They're just
pumpkin masks.
Yeah, pumpkin, a witch, and a skeleton mask. But there is, I mean, I guess I'll go ahead and just say
it was late 90s. This is your chance. Spoiler alert, look away now if you don't want to hear the ending of the movie. All right, go ahead.
All right, so the dude steals one of the Stonehenge pillar pieces. So you know what Stonehenge is?
Yeah.
He steals one of those and has it at his factory. So
like full-size Stonehenge slab?
Yes, straight up, yes.
Okay.
And now, granted, it's like, okay, that doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but they're like, oh, well, there's like this ancient type of spell, all this type of shit involved with it. Well, so the movie basically starts where this dude is running down the street, and he's got one of these masks in his hands, and he's being chased.
Okay.
Well, he gets to this gas station. The dude helps him or whatever, and these people that are chasing him, they kind of are dressed like the dudes in Men in Black, where they just got like the suit and tie and all this stuff, but they don't move like humans. Like even though they're just like white dudes with real low cut hair and all this stuff, real clean cut. Something is off about them. Well, this dude who has the mask, he's been running. He's panicking or whatever. Well, the dude that works at the gas station takes him to the hospital because he's out. Well, when he gets to the hospital, a doctor shows up to him and he's like, it's like he's unconscious, but he hears a TV going off in the other room, and it's that commercial. And the old man wakes up, and once again he's got the mask, and he grabs the doctor, and he's just like, "They're gonna kill us all. They're gonna kill us all." Well, the doctor's not paying no mind to this dude. He's like, okay, he's out of it. He's
just another nut job on Howling.
So they put him, they give him a room or whatever. Well, the dudes who've been they followed him to the hospital. And it's at this point it's just one dude. He walks all the way up there, kills the dude. Then he gets chased by the same doctor out the door, and the dude gets in his car, pours gasoline all over himself, and sets himself on fire along with the car as it blows up. So the doctor is like, "What the crap?" So, like who does this man showed up, went into a hospital, killed this man that is recovering, then walks out of the hospital, gets in a car, pours gasoline on himself, and sets himself on fire?
Do the TV ads have anything to do with it?
Yes, bro.
Is it like some kind of ancient spell?
Yeah, but this one's. But people hate this crap, bro. Right off the bat, dude, that movie grabbed me. I'm like, bro, what? What?
And then you got upset because Michael Myers wasn't it, right?
Oh shit. Yeah, don't even freaking start with me. Damn, fuck Michael Myers, bro. Fuck that dude. He ain't shit. He ain't Jason. He ain't Freddy Krueger. He ain't, bro, he ain't Chucky, dude. Think about Chucky. Chucky does the same thing as him, except he can run, and he's a little toy doll.
Chucky has to run because every one step is like 10 of Michael Myers.
Okay, who would win in a fight between Chucky and Michael Myers?
Well, Michael Myers can teleport. No, honestly,
Chucky can't die though. He's a damn doll.
I think if you scatter him in enough pieces, you're probably pretty
good. They did that, bro.
Did they?
Yeah, they've definitely done that.
I mean, I couldn't tell you the last time I've seen a Chucky movie. It's kind of like right there with like the Leprechaun and stuff for me, where it's kind of almost too cheesy for me to enjoy it as a Halloween movie.
Bro, you know what's crazy about the Leprechaun? The first Leprechaun movie? Bro, that's Jennifer Aniston was in that. Jennifer Aniston was in a fucking Leprechaun movie, along with. Now this is kind of, I don't know if anyone's gonna know this, but because I'm really good at this type of stuff, I don't mean to toot my own horn, but I'm going to. The dude from Pee-wee's Big Adventure, the fat dude that stole Pee-wee's bike, he's in Leprechaun as well.
Like Pee-wee Herman?
Yeah, Pee-wee Herman. Yeah, Pee-wee's Big Adventure. Because the whole movie is about Pee-wee trying to get his bike back.
I don't think I've seen any Pee-wee Herman anything. I just know who he is.
Well. Yeah, and you know what he did in a movie theater, don't you?
Something not good.
We'll leave it at that.
Let's leave it at that.
Okay, so no, but let's back up because this is all right. So, but yeah, Chucky, bro, that was freaking terrifying when I was a kid, bro. Chucky, bro, like he just looks evil on top of everything. But think about this. It's not just as a little doll. Bro's got red hair. And he's got overalls on.
That's instantly like +2 on the scary scale.
For real, dude. Oh my god.
I don't know though. He doesn't.
You need to watch at least. You need to watch at least the first Child's Play.
I mean, I've seen the Chucky movies. It's been a long time.
You need to watch them again.
We were actually speaking about them at work the other day, and we were talking about whatever the third one is when they have the child.
Oh, the Seed of Chucky.
Seed of Chucky, yes.
Oh,
yes.
And they couldn't tell if it was a boy or a girl.
Yes. We sat on that subject for about 10 minutes, and it was just complete nonsense. But it just made me realize that I really don't care to go back and see them.
Like in all honesty, I think the Bride of Chucky was like the best one, other than the first one. The first one was that's just about all movies. The first one was the best. Bro, the Freddy Krueger movies. I actually binged them. I want to say it was about a month ago because they, as soon as September kind of rolled around, all the scary movies hit Max and Netflix and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So I was like, you know what? I've never seen all of the Freddy Krueger movies. So I started with one and just watched them all. Bro, they got so ridiculous. Because it's like, wait, this man ain't supposed to be able to be in the real world at all.
Is it as bad as Jason Goes to Space?
Dude, I don't care what anyone says. That's a fucking good movie. Yeah, I think that one was called. If I'm not mistaken, I think that one was called Jason X.
Yeah.
Dude, that one was good, especially when he because, bruh, don't even get me started, dude. That's a good, man. I tell you,
those are just like blurs in my head, but I have like little small mental images popping up of each of these movies and trying to piece it together as we go. But
I'll tell you one that most people like. If you're a little bit of the older generation, you definitely know of it, and it's super good. It's got Kurt Russell in it. It's called The Thing.
Yeah,
it's from the 80s.
And I don't think I've seen it either because you told me to put it at the top of my list because it was at the top of your list at least it used to be.
Yeah, no, it absolutely yes. That is one you need to see it because especially if you are into the psychological thriller, that is exactly what it is because it's got like this disturbing, unsettling feeling because it's all about. So they're in Antarctica, and they have these scientists have stumbled across this organism that has been frozen in the ice, and they don't know how long, but they cut it out, and it's still alive, and it can basically transform. The way its cells work, it can transform into any type of organic material, a human, a dog, a human, whatever, and basically it's like a self-cloning organism.
I think we spoke briefly on the opening scene. You said there was basically the dog running over the frozen tundra, right?
Yeah.
And were they chasing him like a helicopter?
Yeah, there's a helicopter, and they're trying to shoot it, dude. And then you're like, man, bro, the poor dog.
I can't believe I haven't seen that one because we have really bad luck when me and my wife Katie pick movies out. The family pet always gets killed. The poor cat always gets got. Every single time we pick a movie. And I feel bad every single time.
Like, it's what's so sad about Homeward Bound, bro. Every one of those animals went through something terrible.
But they made it home.
They did make it home. Bro, in that last scene.
When old elderly dog's taking his sweet time getting over the hill.
Hell yeah.
Poor child has the most disappointed, sad look on his face.
And you know what? If the scene would have just been quiet and it's shown, it would have been, that would have been sad. But then they play that damn music. I don't even know how it goes right now, but if I heard it, I'd probably shed a tear.
I have no idea. And the first song that popped in my head was the Sarah McLachlan song that they play on all the sad animal adoption commercials. Yeah, that's the one.
God, dude. They also, I think that's the same song they show when there's like starving children too.
Oh yeah, it's just a sad song in general. It's the donation song.
Man, I don't know if we need to talk about this.
I mean,
donate to people to children that are starving and adopt an animal if y'all even if you have like especially like see that's what's so great about cat ladies, bro. They've got huge hearts because, bro, have you ever been in one of those houses where there's like 40 freaking cats?
No, I don't know any crazy cat ladies personally.
Dude, I had to find. So, Mama had me, bro. I was like in, I don't know, 4th or 5th grade. Mama had 3 jobs. So, I was being babysit by. She would drop me off in the morning, and it was an older lady. She was like in her 70s, 80s, or whatever. And she had, I mean, you walk in. I was allergic to cats, bro. I was fucking allergic to cats. I love Mama to death. But you know what she did?
But she took you to a torture chamber.
Bruh, and I kid you not, dude. I'm being so serious when I say this. It was like every Wednesday, she'd buy me a new bottle of Benadryl to send with me over there. But dude, she had a fuck ton of cats, and it smelled like shit in there, dude. I hated it.
I think the worst thing about that is that they usually get used to the smell. So to them, it just smells like a normal house.
And now I never fucking got used to it.
Well, of course not. You didn't live there.
But
But
I basically kind of did.
but even if there was green fumes coming out the door, she's not gonna smell anything because that's just she probably smells like that wherever she goes.
I don't know how the fire department doesn't get involved with some shit like that though. Like, bro, they need to. You got to get this shit right.
It probably would only have taken like one phone call and could have got it cleaned out.
I probably could have done that.
You
Oh,
could've-
bro.
You
So
could have gotten every one of those cats adopted.
speaking of phone calls, so I know we are transitioning really quick, but I'll do so. At one point, I was staying with my grandparents, right? And dude, I was like, at this point, I was like 7 or 8. Once again, Mom was working 3 jobs, so my grandparents were a lot older, and they lived in like the hood. So while I was there, I knew my mom's number to call her while she was at work. And this is before my grandparents. They eventually got like cable television, and I'm talking about where you had to screw that motherfucker in the back. I ain't talking about dish or
rabbit ears. Or you're talking about like old school, like
old school. You had to screw it in the back.
coaxial into the back of
yes,
it. Yeah.
Kinda, it's what you had to do with the original Nintendo too. You didn't have no red, white, blue or red, white, blue. 4th of July, baby.
Red, white, yellow.
Yeah, red, white, yellow. That's the one.
Yeah.
They didn't have that. It was the full blown antenna where you had to
just
screw it
straight
into
up coaxial cable.
So anyway, I obviously I had Alabama Public Television, so I'd watch Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood and Arthur. But other than that, I didn't really have anything to do, and I didn't have no friends in the neighborhood. So I would just get on the phone and I just dial Mama's number at work. I got cool with the receptionist there because I used to call all the time. But eventually, Mom was like, "Dylan, you gotta stop calling me. I'm trying to work." So, and bro, I'm a kid, so I'm still bored. So I only knew one other number. I dialed 911.
Did they have a good conversation with you?
Well, I don't know what I was thinking. So when I did dial 911, they answered, Birmingham Police Department, and my eyes got big. And I just hung up real quick, and I'm like, shouldn't have done that. And I just don't think about it again.
Yeah. How do they know who's called?
Next thing I know, dude, there's fucking blue and white lights outside the front door, and I'm like, what the fuck? How did they know? Knocking on the door, my grandmother, she opens the door, and she's like, yes. And the police officer, he's a big burly man, and he's just like, we got a phone call, and we're just checking to make sure everything's okay. No one called the police from here. And so he's like, no, we definitely got a call. And then so at this point, my grandma's like, what? So then she figures out Dylan, and I basically just I confess, I'm like, yeah, and I'm scared to death, but I got my ass beat that night, dude. Mama whipped my ass when she got home to pick me up.
It would have been kind of funny and a little cruel if they would have just like put you in handcuffs and act like they were taking you off.
God, dude.
I think you would have learned your lesson that way as well.
Well, they should have, because I ended up doing it again.
I don't know though, because on second thought, if that happened to you, I would have got put in handcuffs like 4 months ago when I was cutting the grass because I accidentally butt dialed 911. Like on the lock screen when you're trying to use the unlock numbers instead of your thumbprint, there's the emergency call button down there in the bottom left. And for whatever reason, I had my phone face down in my pocket against my thigh, and I called 911 because when I got done cutting the grass, I got a call back from an unknown number, and I answered it, and police dispatcher started talking to me, and I was like, must have been a mistake. And she was so mad at me. She was so mad that I wasted her time having to call me back.
Could you imagine being one of the dispatchers, though?
Oh, it would be awful.
To not know whether it be just something like that, a situation like that, where it's nothing, or it could be somebody who their life matters on this phone call.
Yeah, I could have had some dire situation with somebody else going on inside my house, and sorry, I butt dialed you. I'll let you go now. Everything's good. Nobody showed up.
Yeah.
It could have been the end of it.
Well, I remember I had the iPhone 4. Remember it was a smaller one?
About that thick.
Yeah. I accidentally double tapped the side button or whatever, and it did pop up the same thing, and for whatever reason, just accidentally clicked the button, and I called the police, and I'm like, at this point, it's ringing, I'm like, I'm just going to wait until they answer. And when they didn't answer, they basically said, police department. I'm like, yeah, sorry, I didn't mean to call. And then, I just hung up right after that. But at least that's better than me being a kid and then just hanging up real quick.
Just heavy breathing into the phone. I can imagine that would cause some issues.
Oh, God, dude. Man.
Oh,
but
man.
see, like I said, my dumbass did it again, though. It was maybe like 3 or 4 months later. I legit did it again.
Like purposely called them again?
Purposely called. Like, I guess...
First time they should give you pass. Second time, you're just definitely getting thrown in handcuffs.
The second one was 100% an intrusive thought. It's like, oh, I've done this before. Just click the button. Just click it.
Did you ever prank call people like Star 67 or whatever it was?
No.
No, me neither. I was scared that it wasn't going to work.
Did you? Okay, so man, where were
we? Want to rewind it a little bit. All right. We've covered a lot here, but there's one thing that we haven't covered that's now hot on my brain.
And what is that?
What the hell is Halloween 3 about? We've been around the world. We've hit Egypt. We've been to the Titanic. We've been to Midsummer festivals. We've seen Chucky. What's Halloween 3 about? It's your favorite Halloween movie.
All right, so let me try to really stay with this.
Yes, we
Please don't let me get off subject, Josh.
We left off with old buddy setting himself on fire in the car.
All right, so
that's just opening scene, right?
So anyway, the doctor so he goes back up, where the dude was killed. There's police there or whatever because they're obviously doing an investigation on the dude who has just been killed. Well, his daughter shows up. She's an attractive young lady or whatever. And the doctor, him and her kind of talk or whatever, and they're like, oh, what? He's like, well, what happened to your dad? We got to find out what's going on. And she's obviously in a very panic mode. Her dad just got freaking murdered.
So her dad was the one admitted to the hospital.
With that mask, and he was saying, everybody's going to kill us.
Gotcha.
So, anyway, they see each other later at a bar, and they keep talking about it, and they start kind of piecing 2 and 2 together. So they go back to his workshop. So he owned a store, and he was selling these masks.
Okay.
So she's going through all his notes or whatever at work, and she sees that he said, buy more masks. And that's the last thing he said. And where he was going was to a factory in this town super far away or whatever. So the doctor and the dude who died, his daughter, they go together to this town because they're trying to find out where, and because that's where he was coming from. Okay. That's where he was running down the road or whatever. When they get there, they can tell something is definitely off. The town, there's surveillance cameras all over this town, and there's a bunch of these type of men or whatever there. Well, I'm going to try to just speed through it real quick because it
sounds like quite in depth of a movie for Halloween.
And it's so good, like I said, because all right, so right off the bat, all these dudes that it shows. So eventually, you see the dude who is like the main honcho, the head honcho, the one who is over it all, and he's got like an accent to him. He's an Irish guy. All these dudes that are wearing like these suits or whatever, there's a bunch of them. None of them are real people. They're all like robots. They're all like robotic people. And so the doctor is calling back and forth between the hospital where they're trying to find, the remains of this dude who set himself on fire, and there aren't any remains. The only thing they're finding are like little gears and pins and stuff. Yeah. Huh. Yeah. See, it sounds kind of interesting, doesn't it?
It does. I'm all for a good sentient robot story.
So anyway, the whole premise of the story is eventually the doctor and the chick, they go up into the factory. She gets caught. She gets, you don't see her for a while, and the doctor's trying to save her. And he finds out what's really going on, and he sees the big Stonehenge, and they're like cutting pieces off of it, and they're putting little pieces of it on the back of every one of these Halloween masks.
Okay.
And they're all linked up. And that commercial that's being it's got a satellite that's coming off of from this factory where it's connected to Stonehenge, where it's going to simultaneously kill everybody, kill all the kids that are wearing it, and it killing them gruesomely. Like where the mask is, when it's triggered through the commercial, where all these like bugs kind of start coming out of their mouth, and it's horrific.
So not only are the masks killing the people, but there's also these men in black robots hunting people down. Are they hunting them down specifically for the mask?
No, they're hunting the, they're only sent to kill people that are interfering with the grand scheme of it all.
Gotcha. So they're keeping the production going.
Exactly.
Okay. Gotcha.
And
gotcha.
eventually the doctor gets caught. He's tied down to a chair, and he's like, "Why are you doing all this?" Because he finds out about all. And the dude, he said, what it is people have forgot the true meaning behind Halloween. He said, it's not all about, dressing up, going to get candy and all this stuff. He said, and basically, there's paganistic rituals that were taking place. That
Sure.
it was an evil time. He says, this is to remind people what Halloween is really about.
Get it back to his roots.
Does that not sound better than a fucker running around with a Gordon Ramsay knife?
It has piqued my interest. I think I will go find it and watch it.
And dude, what's crazy? This is what is so aggravating about it. Beyond all, like so much. So that is what they were trying to do. Eventually, every year or every 2 years, they were going to release a new Halloween movie, and it was going to be entitled. It was going to be titled Halloween, and it was going to be like an anthology. So like Tales from the Crypt, Tales from the Dark Side, where it was going to be an entirely new story with it, bro. And all we got was that one, and that one was I loved that. I was like, man, fuck it, that's better than fucking Michael Myers.
I don't know. That's a strong opinion, but
Bro,
I will say their downfall was naming it Halloween 3.
Yeah. But like I said, I guess whoever was like legit over it, that's what they were trying. They were trying to make it a continuation of like, okay, we're going to have a big Halloween movie, and it ain't got shit. They should have told people that. Yeah. See, that's what their problem is.
It could have been its own, like you were naming all the other series that have done this type of thing. Even like American Horror Story, that's what they do. Each season is a whole completely new thing. Same cast for the most part, but it's a whole new story. They could have just not named it Halloween 3 because Halloween 1 and 2 have Michael Myers in it.
Yeah.
And there's a whole story going on with the whole sister killing brother, that, and the other.
Man, Jamie Lee Curtis, man. You know what I think of Jamie Lee Curtis? I think
Freaky Friday.
Yeah, Freaky Friday, dude. Her freaking guitaring it out. I mean, bro, when she was killing it with a guitar.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Lindsay Lohan's on stage and she's just, acting like she can, and meanwhile Jamie Lee Curtis is just shredding it in the back. Golly, dude. Oh, dude, they're making a second one too. Did you know that?
I saw that. I don't know much about it, but
did you watch the first one?
I'm not. I did. I've watched the first one a ton, but I don't know if I'm on board with all of this making a sequel 10, 20 years later type of thing. Just doesn't make much sense to me.
Did you watch Dumb and Dumber?
Yeah.
Did you like Dumb and Dumber 2? Did you see Dumb and Dumber 2?
Yes.
I loved it.
And that's different though. It's a comedy. I don't think Freaky Friday.
So you wouldn't consider Freaky Friday a
no.
Yeah, you're right.
It's more in like the coming of age category.
Coming of age, man. What a bro. Do you remember like the original Disney Channel movies?
Yeah, most of them.
Do you remember the one where the dude turned into like on his 13th birthday?
Yeah, it's called 13th Year. Yeah, he's a mermaid.
Bro, started
and also a swimmer.
Yeah, bro. Real quickly, that was a good movie.
I don't think that's very fair.
You didn't like it? I used to love the Disney Channel original movies. Halloween Town was a Disney Channel original movie. Was it? No, but you don't like that
some of them just don't hit the mark, I guess. I was a big Johnny Tsunami fan.
Oh, dude, those were so
Johnny
good.
Capahala back on board.
Where he went into where he was like snowboarding snowboarding.
Because he started out surfing or whatever, and then the second one, the Capahala back on board, he did the mountain boarding. It looks like a snowboard, but it has like the big like off-road tires. Like it looks like a skateboard.
Okay.
But it has like the big off-road tires on it.
Yes, they did that on Rocket Power.
Yeah.
They had those on Rocket Power.
We could do a whole episode on Rocket Power. That was one of my favorites. But
you know what my favorite episode of Rocket Power was? The Secret Beach. You remember when they were trying to find? It was like this secluded beach or whatever, where they could surf. The waves were great and nobody knew about it.
Yeah, it was almost like a cove type setup, right?
Yeah, and they didn't Otto and what was his sister name? Reggie?
Yeah.
They knew where it was, and they didn't know if they wanted to let Squid.
Old Squid.
Yeah, the newbie.
He never got to do anything fun.
No.
I'm not sure he could, but
What I used to do is, bro, I used to record. So we had a VCR, and when my grandparents finally did get like cable set up, bro, I lived on Nickelodeon, and we had a VCR, and you could get these VHSs, and I shit you not, dude, the VHSs had like 8 hours blank tape.
Yeah,
bro, I would record so many shows.
You were your own TiVo.
Hell yeah, dude. Bro, yes. And like the best part about it was you could pause it right when a commercial was about to start, and then as soon as it came back from commercial, bro, hit that fucking record button again. Get right, and then when you finally go back to watch it, you know you did your fucking job. So when you're watching these 8 hours, you ain't got no commercials.
That's funny. It's kind of funny how there's a thing like that for every generation. Because I remember my dad talking about when he was growing up, it was cassette tapes in the radio.
I used to do that too, though.
Oh, yeah, I forgot you're a couple years older than me, but not. I didn't know you were cassette tape old.
But see, the thing is at the time period, those CDs were a thing. But I was around older people, so like we had whatever the fucking radio, and then it had obviously a cassette tape player, but had blank tapes in that. But see, at the time period, I wasn't very good at that type of stuff, so
you always got some commercials in there at the start,
well,
or the end of the first song.
Some of that too, because especially if you started to hear your song play, you'd hit record, but they're still talking. The DJ's still talking. Oh, 103.7 The Q, Nick Nice, and but you see, and also my dumb ass would record a song, and I remember specifically it was because I was obsessed with. What was that? I'm Blue Dabba Dee Dabba. That's it. Yeah. So I recorded that song. I loved it. I was like, man, hell yeah, I got that recorded. And then, 20 minutes later, the song, all these songs, I'm like, nope, I don't like any of those. Nope, don't like any of those. And then it'd come on again. I'm like, oh, bro, yeah, I got to have that. So then when I go back to listen to the cassette, I've got I'm Blue Dabba Dee Dabba Da literally like an hour and like just back to back. But it's obviously not recorded correctly, so you're getting voices from the host of the show. Oh my god, dude!
That's your personal heaven, but to a lot of people that sounds like a hellscape. Just that song on repeat for an hour.
Well, so it was great when I was recording it, but when I was listening to it, it was hell because I'm like, man, why? God, I like the song, but Jesus Christ. All right, Josh, we have covered a ton of movie topics today. And in all honesty, it's all we, in a sense, kind of back to the beginning of the conversation. We've kind of time traveled. Wouldn't you say?
Yeah, we have been around the world. That's for sure. I would like to hear a little bit more about your time traveling to Egypt and the Library of Alexandria before we wrap this thing up.
All right, so I'm obsessed. You already know this, but I am obsessed with ancient civilizations in general. But I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that, as far as mainstream scientists and archaeologists and all, they think that we go back. I think they say it's like the ancient Sumerians, which is roughly, I think, 8,000 or 9,000 years. Like, that's the oldest stuff of what we've known of a civilization that has been, where they have agriculture, where they've had religion, where they've had those type of things. Not just hunter-gatherers where they're going around fucking throwing damn spears at gazelles and shit.
Yeah, at some point in history, we just decided to start keeping track of what we were doing for whatever reason.
Yeah. So, for me, traveling back in time, it would definitely be to ancient Egypt. And it would be specifically to the Library of Alexandria. And that is because it burnt down with so much, for them, ancient history. Like, for example, when we think of Cleopatra from ancient Egypt is closer to the time period of the iPhone or us as she was to the construction of the pyramids.
So,
and if you don't fucking believe me, bro, look that shit up. On God, that's right.
I'm gonna take your word for it on this one. I think if there's anything I know you know a lot about, that's old people.
Oh, bro, I've been around
But
old people all my life.
Speaking of the Library of Alexandria, to keep this where we're going. Is there one secret that you think you would have found in there that would have changed how we did things today?
That's a good question. Yeah, I definitely think so. I mean, just from the aspect of, all right, well, man, how do I say this quickly? All right, think about just in the past 250 years how we have advanced as people. We went from riding on horses to the construction of trains to skyscrapers to satellites in space and traveling to the moon, and now we have iPhones, which are computers in our pockets where we can look up anything about anything at any time, and everyone has access to it. That's just a span of 250 years. So from the Library of Alexandria, they had scrolls and documentations of stuff that predated who knows how far back. I mean, it could have gone farther back than the Ice Age. We don't know. We don't know. But in those, it could have been the secrets of how to live longer, how to cope with depression, or, I mean, who knows? They might have cancer might not have even been a thing. I don't know.
Yeah. Could also just been a lot of baking recipes.
I mean, bro, but hey, but you know what? Think about this, dude. The food at that time period, that shit might have been so good. And that's something that we ain't ever going to fucking experience.
Have you ever had Egyptian food?
I don't know. Not that I know of. I mean, I've had a gyro. Have you ever had a gyro?
Yeah, that's Greek.
Ain't that's well, let's see, Greek. That's close to Egypt. Well, okay, no.
It's been around a while.
I mean, I'm sure they have. So what's it? Gyro is that cow or is that lamb?
Most of the time it's lamb, but I think it's one of those sandwiches where you can just kind of get whatever you want in it.
Did they have lamb in Egypt? For them, I know.
You're the ancient
hey,
Egypt person.
Do you know something that I do know? That, and this is like legit, bro. They shaved their heads in Egypt, and like so. Anytime you saw them, they had like those beads and shit, or the like braids or whatever. Bro, those were fucking wigs. And you know why they did that? Because fleas were so fucking prevalent.
Huh.
That's real shit, bro. If you don't fucking believe me, look that shit up.
All right. Well, I think we've learned enough for one day. We've learned a lot, or a little about a lot, I should say.
Yeah. Ultimately, I hope that the listener, whoever you are, I hope you enjoyed it. I mean, like I said, this is for us. It's fun. Like we do this all the time anyway. Whether we're recording ourselves or not, it's just fun. Yeah, it's just fun to talk.
6 days a week. This is how our mornings start. Yeah. So, look, I'm glad we get to finally share it with the world. Whether you like it or not, that's up to you.
And even if you don't like it, I don't give a shit.
I care. Please subscribe.